Welcome to OkState Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. Hey, what a great weekend it was. Was it not what the doctor ordered? Coming back to O'Brate Stadium for the first home weekend. It was great weather. Congratulations to the Oklahoma State fans. What great crowds packed O'Brate all weekend. I can tell you for a fact, when fans show up and they show the amount of support that the Oklahoma State fans did this weekend, both in softball and baseball, it makes a big difference with the kids. So, hey, the Cowboys outscored the Chippewas, who, by the way, Central Michigan, I'm just telling you, they have professional players all over professional baseball. That is a good organization up there at Central Michigan. That's a good baseball program. So for the Cowboys just to dismantle them 34-5 over the weekend, great weekend. All you had to do is just look at the type of pitching they sent out there. They sent 90-plus arm after 90-plus arm after 90-plus arm. The Cowboys were just up to the task and played great at every single turn. So it was a great weekend. Congratulations to Josh Holliday, Rob Walton, Mark Ginther, Victor Romero, everybody involved. Congratulations to the Oklahoma State fans. What a great weekend. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right into it, and let's talk Cowboy baseball. So on Friday, the Cowboys, it was the closest game, and it was the weather-wise game, the game that was probably the least comfortable, although it wasn't uncomfortable for this time of year. But, hey, the Cowboys, they did what they needed to do. They won a very good game, 7-4. Friday, they pounded out 10 hits on the afternoon in those 7 runs. And when you look at what they did on Friday, they had 6 walks. They had 6 walks on the evening and 5 strikeouts. How many times have I talked about if the Cowboys can just similarly have the same amount of walks as they do strikeouts, that's the type of offense that this Oklahoma State team is going to have to rely on. And man, what a weekend for these kids. Jackson Kroll hit his first home run of the year. Carson Binge hit his first home run of the year. That was simply fantastic. And him and Avery Ortiz actually went back-to-back. So that was really cool. Also, man, hey, these young players, I'm telling you, Colin Ritchie, this dude's big time. Out of Atoka, I've been seeing him play in high school for a long time now. This guy has just a presence to him. And that home run that he hit over the right field wall was just absolutely insane. That was an absolutely insane home run. And to think, Nolan Schubert and then also Aiden Miola were not in this lineup this weekend, that's a blessing and a curse. Obviously, the curse is if you want to reach the potential of this club, you need everybody healthy. Aiden Miola is awesome. He's clutch. Nolan Schubert has the chance to be one of the best left-handed hitters in all of college baseball, period, in a discussion. The Cowboys are so fortunate that he ended up in Stillwater after originally committing to Michigan. Coaching change, ended up in Stillwater. But the blessing to that is guys like Colin Ritchie, they not only get to play, but they get quite a bit of run. Avery Ortiz, he gets to play quite a bit. We saw Charlie Carter get his first hit this weekend. That was really cool. Hey, Charlie Carter, a freshman catcher out of Little Rock, Arkansas, wonderful defensive player. Did you see him bounce out there from behind home plate, make the nice play at first? Got his first base hit to right field. And the thing about it is, don't you know that jump, that monkey was jumping on his back a little bit like, man, I got to get that first hit, right? So to get that first hit, now you can relax. Now you can just play baseball the way that you're capable of. But Colin Ritchie, this dude, I'm telling you, man, he's big time. The catch against Arkansas against the wall, just the left-handed stroke, the way he's able to go the other way with it, the sweet swing to it, the ability that he has to let the ball get deep so he can identify spin and location. And then that home run that he hit over the right field wall Sunday, that thing was just gigantic. I mean, that was an absolutely gigantic home run. So Colin Ritchie is just a big time. These young players for Oklahoma State, they're simply fantastic. And then Jansen Kiesel on the bump, he was very good. First pitch of the game Sunday was 98 miles an hour. Bryson Hudgens looked good. I like Tommy Molsky coming out of the pen. And then also Gabe Davis. Man, Gabe Davis, I can't tell you how impressive he was. 97-ish miles an hour. But the way that he's able to throw that slider in different shapes and pair it with that fastball, Gabe Davis, man, he's just absolutely dirty. And the thing about it is, you have the big lefty going on Fridays. Then you got the Bulldog Brian Holiday going on Saturdays. And then you got just the absolute gas going on Sundays. I kind of like the mix of those three. I've talked about in the past, you don't have three guys that are throwing at 100 miles an hour like you've had the ability to do in the past. But I'll tell you what, if you needed to add Gabe Davis as a starter at some point, he showed in the Arkansas game that if you need him to extend and become a starter, he can do that. And then that provides your second guy between him and Jansen Kiesel that could be a starter that's in the high 90s. But I like the mix of having the experienced big lefty on Friday. Then there's just the bulldog that comes at you with kind of knees and elbows type and just real competitive spirit, and Brian Holiday, and then really a good slider. And then the thing about Holiday is he's about 92, 93, somewhere in there, which in today's day and age isn't, like unbelievable in velo because guys just throw the ball through the roof nowadays. But his spin rate is obviously, I've never seen actually the metrics on it. I'm going to guarantee you, though, his spin rate's bumping 2,300, which is typically the cutoff between a 2 and a 4 seam. Because when you watch that thing carry the bottom of the zone, and then you watch that thing at the top of the zone, and hitters just can't catch up with it because to them it looks like it continues to rise, that tells you he has a lot of backspin on that ball. And because of that, the ball drops less, and because of that, hitters just can't catch up to it. So although Brian Holiday doesn't throw at 99, it's looking like very fast velo to hitters because of the backspin on it, the spin rate of his fastball. And then Jansen Kiesel, first pitch on Sunday was 98 miles an hour. Then you got Tommy Molsky in relief. You still have, of course, your weekday starters. I know Bogey got the start on Tuesday, but Bogey can be that Swiss Army knife that can do a little bit of everything. Riley Taylor, I think, is going to play a part in that equation as well. And then also you got to see Carson Benj. I know it was like 7,000 to nothing by the time he came in Sunday, but man, how about that slider he was throwing? Carson Benj is another guy that can really pitch the ball. So you came into the weekend with a lot of questions. Also, Ian Doherty had back-to-back 2-hit games. Ian Doherty, he's looked a lot better offensively. He looks really good. So you have a young catcher. You have two young catchers that are fighting until the starter gets back. Bo Sylvester, we don't know how long he's going to be out. Probably not much longer, at least that's the way it sounded on the broadcast over the weekend. So what this weekend allowed you to do, obviously it allowed you to get your confidence back. It allowed you to sort through several different things that you needed to sort through as a ball club. But really, the biggest part of this, other than the 3 wins, it got all these young kids a lot of playing time. It got them on the field. It got guys like Charlie Cotter their first hits. So it was a great weekend. And by the way, man, how about Lane Forsythe? This dude is a ball player. We saw on Saturday night, a couple Saturday nights ago, the walk-off suicide squeeze against Arkansas. Well, how about the at-bat where he fouled off 5 pitches and then with 2 strikes shortened up on his swing and got a base hit up the middle? I love that. Colin Ritchie, hard-hit ground balls up the middle, low-line drives, ground balls, 2 strike approaches, bunting the baseball when the game tells you should bunt, when you need to bunt. That's not old school. It's as Max Hewitt said. As a matter of fact, if you want to go to my Max Hewitt interview that I did for Dodgers Daily, go over to my Dodgers Daily site. We talked to Max Hewitt for quite a while. Max Hewitt actually caught me onto this. It's not old school or new school. It's the right school. Lane Forsythe plays the right school of baseball. He shortens up with 2 strikes. He has a 2-strike approach. He thinks up the middle, and he's just thinking, get the bat on the ball, and let's put it in play and make the defense do something. That approach right there, again, not new school, not old school. It is the right school. I love the way he plays the game. He loves being at Oklahoma State. He loves wearing that uniform, and man, is he good with the glove. Very impressed with Tyler Wolford. He had a good weekend over the weekend, getting several different hits. Finally got rewarded. He'd been putting the ball in play very hard a lot of different occasions and just been hitting the ball right at people. So it was good to see him get going. And Colin Briggerman, man, how about that opposite field home run and then the next at bat, he turns on one. This is a guy that if Briggerman can get going, He's a guy that on certain days, he can hit enough home runs and do enough damage where he by himself could really carry the offense. So you're still missing Bo Sylvester. You're still missing Aiden Miola. You're still missing Nolan Schubert. And those are big parts of your lineup. Zach Earhart, for the most part, you're still missing him. So you still have those guys to get back into your lineup. Hey, Jackson Kroll, I was very impressed with him. How about his game? Bunting for base hits, hitting opposite field home runs, ground balls. He had a ground ball base hit where he just put the ball in play, made the second baseman try to make a hard play, and he couldn't do it. Got on base. The pitchers over the weekend, I thought, did a really good job. As a matter of fact, if you look over overall on the weekend, the Cowboys on the weekend, they drew 21 walks offensively, and they struck out, that would be 23 times. You can take that. That's the formula right there. And then if you look at hits, they had 22 plus 15. They had 37 hits, and of those 37 hits, 8 of them were home runs. But it was like you had an at-bat like Lane Forsythe where you had a two-strike approach. You had an at-bat like Jackson Kroll or Colin Ritchie where you hit the ball up the middle, and then bam, a guy would tattoo one. And a couple of them were opposite field home runs where guys were really just trying to put the ball in play, letting the ball get deep with somewhat of a two-strike approach. So I was very excited with the offense. I was very excited with Brian Holiday. How about this? The 8 innings that Brian Holiday pitched on Saturday. Let me give you a reference of how rare what he did is. The Oklahoma City Dodgers, well, now they're the baseball club. Hopefully they return to being the 89ers. This past season in 2023, only one time all year did they have a pitcher go at least 7 innings. Only once all year, and not one time all year did they have a pitcher go 8 innings. So for Brian Holiday to go 8 innings, 107 pitches, man, that's gutsy. That's a guy that's a bulldog that wants the ball and does not want to come out. So you have some pieces, again, that got put together. Again, it's one weekend. It was great weather. It's at home. You don't want to make too much out of it, but I can guarantee you that dinner last night to Josh Holiday tasted a lot better this Sunday night than it did on the way home from Dallas Baptist on Tuesday. Also, error-wise, the Cowboys on the weekend, check this out. Just 2 errors in the 3 games. So it was just a good weekend all across, fan-wise, weather-wise, play-wise, coaching-wise, all of it. It was a great weekend. So super excited for exactly what happened this weekend and looking forward to what's coming up on Tuesday night when the Cowboys continue their homestand on Tuesday against Utah Tech. Hey, if you remember them, they used to be Dixie State. They're in Utah, and then they actually host Utah Tech on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then the homestand continues this next weekend when the Cowboys take on Mercer. So, hey, you had a great weekend of baseball. That should have got your appetite whet. Let's go back to Obrate on Tuesday and Wednesday. Fill that thing up. Let's fill it up over the weekend, and then it's going to be 8 days from today as I record this on a Monday. Next Tuesday in Norman, it is Bedlam. So got a lot of work to do before we get there, but hey, it was a great start this weekend. So hey, I'm so glad that you tuned in. I want to thank you for tuning in to our next edition of OkState Daily on the baseball end of things. So thank you so much for that, and go Pokes.